Hey everyone, welcome back to PokeMarketLab. Today we're talking about Pokemon Pocket, the new app, the new game from the Pokemon Company that emulates pack opening and collecting and also playing the game of Pokemon. And I wanted to throw out the notion that I think this will eventually bring people into the physical game as well, or at least it brings a lot of people that otherwise wouldn't be interested in the card version of the game or the card investing or collecting hobby. It brings them closer to that than anything else would. If you've been around long enough, you probably remember back to Pokemon Go, and that wasn't a card game, but it brought people into Pokemon that weren't otherwise into Pokemon at all. People who were just browsing the App Store. Oh, what's that? Let me get into that. People who knew obviously Pokemon existed but had never played the game, had never watched the series or anything like that. And it certainly brought people into the fold. And I think that the same thing is going to be true here. There are going to be some people who get into it, never go to the collecting side. There's probably going to be some people who play the physical game that go just to the app. But I think from a game standpoint, it's going to be huge. It's going to be massive for the hobby as a whole. But I think it's going to bring people into the game side, which I think is awesome. And I think people really discount the players in the fact that there are a large number of people that play the game, and I didn't really realize that myself until I saw it in first person when I was at PAX East one year and saw the Pokemon booth, and how massive it was. And then when the show opened, the amount of people lining up to play was pretty shocking to me. I really didn't realize that. I played the game many years ago when I was a kid, and loved the game, and I thought, as an adult, kind of from a collecting and investing standpoint, thought the game was just a few people here and there playing it. But it's pretty substantial. It's much bigger than I thought, and this is going to make it absolutely massive. And I think there's definitely not a zero sum chance that some folks who play the pocket version of the game, the app version of the game, aren't going to start doing collecting and playing the physical version of the game. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I think this is good. Obviously, it's good for the hobby. I don't think it really poses any kind of significant risk in terms of cannibalizing card sales. And I kind of look at it like a funnel, right? And I think Pokemon Company does too. Like, how do you take people who aren't into the IP that much and bring them into the IP fold? And I think the Pokemon Company has one of the, I don't even know if I want to call it a deep IP. It's not a massive IP in terms of story, and necessarily it's more of, it's just they try to make sure there's touchstones everywhere. There's the physical game on the Switch, there's the TV series, there's the card game, there's Pokemon Go. There's something for everyone, and they just look at that funnel to try to bring people into the game, into their IP, and try to capitalize on the IP in every possible way, obviously from a profit and revenue standpoint. And I think out of any IP on the planet, I think Pokemon is one of the biggest touchstones out there. It's up there with Disney, which again is surprising given Disney has a huge bench of different IPs. Pokemon obviously is a much narrower IP than that. But again, I think the Pokemon Company's just done a great job of making it approachable by everyone. Again, you have young kids into the card game, into Pokemon Go, and now obviously Pokemon Pocket. You have adults that are collecting. They remember collecting and playing the game as a kid, and they love the cards. They love the artwork, and there's literally something for everyone. And they're even steering the artwork to be more approachable from different kinds of people, not just those people that played in the 90s, but they're making it, if it was just for people who played in the 90s, they would make every card visually more like cards that they printed in the 90s, but they're not. They're shifting gears. They're making it more modern. They're throwing a lot more cute art out there. They're pivoting. And again, I can't overstate how significant that is from a business standpoint to stay aligned to multiple types of people like that, and really stay aligned to your customers. It is truly impressive. So I haven't dove deep into Pokemon Pocket yet, but I've heard so much that that's kind of one of my things I'm going to do this weekend with the kids, is kind of dive into this, because I love the pack opening animations here. So again, I wouldn't be concerned in terms of cannibalizing the TCG whatsoever. I think this is good. The only downside is I wish we had some of these cards in the actual TCG printed cards, because some of these are absolutely, they're gorgeous. And I am super jealous. You'll see in the thumbnail there's a Gengar and a City Street and a Dark Knight, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had that in physical form. And I don't. My guess is that we're not going to see them in physical form, so that they don't want to cannibalize one to the other. Maybe years down the road, when those cards have kind of had seen their use in Pokemon Pocket, we'll get physical versions of them. But yeah, this is good for the game. It's good for the IP. It's going to bring people into collecting cards and playing the game in person, which I think is I think that's always healthy. The collectible side of things is great. I think the Pokemon Company understands that. But again, the more people we have into the hobby and into the IP is just good. It's good for everyone. It's just fun. And at the end of the day, yes, I like to see returns on the products that I buy, but I just can't deny that it's fun. And I just can't. I think you're soulless if you put boxes away on your shelf of a beautiful card game like this and you don't fall in love with it. I just can't see that not happening. And then I that's what I started out. I started out, just buying boxes, putting them on the shelf, and I love the community. Everyone's so positive. How could you not be? I mean, you're all in it appreciating artwork. It's not, I've been in the Magic community for a long time, and it just gets it's competitive. It's competitive by nature, right? It is fundamentally a game. It's this secondarily a collectible. The game is the point of Magic, and the Pokemon community is completely different. It's just a shared love of art. And yeah, you got your jerks and everything, like any other industry, like any hobby, but the vast majority of people, just like I've seen in the comments of my videos, are extremely positive. So yeah, so just want to talk about Pocket real quick. I encourage you to download it and install it and give it a try. It's free to get started, and yeah, I think it's good for everyone. So we'll see you on the next one.